Good morning, everybody. So today I am out here in the city of Las Vegas, beautiful master plan community of Summerlin. As you can see, we got some nice, beautiful mountain views. We're located west of the Las Vegas Valley. I don't know if you guys can see the Las Vegas Strip down here. But today what we're gonna do is something a little bit different. I'm gonna take you guys through a final walkthrough. So I'm meeting up with my clients today and the superintendent to do a final walkthrough in this house. Now, if you guys don't know what a final walkthrough is, this is where you walk back with the superintendent to make sure all the lists that you have requested to be done is complete. So I'm gonna point out some of the things that we have requested to be done, and we're gonna go over this together here. So this is the house right here, okay? Beautiful home. So one of the first things that we noticed was the pavers. There's tons of little spots here. We had requested them to go ahead and power wash it, but it looks like we still have some stains. Like, what are these stains? Basically, these stains right here are from the paintbrush. So when the painters come out here, they tend to wash their brush and whip the water off the brush, and it ends up landing on these pavers. So it looks like they did pressure wash this. However, it looks like it still needs to be pressure washed again. So it's going to be really up to you on how perfect that you do want it. Some of the trims had to be repainted. Looks like those are done. And again, we do have some paint stains here on the pavers. Now the front door, we also noticed that there were some scratches. It's a very rough paint. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So that still needs to be done. Now with this final walkthrough, right, this is where we're gonna sign off on the home, schedule appointment to sign at the title company. However, as of right now, it does not look like it is done. Now, one of the things here was the pop-outs needed to be done. It looks like it has been redone and painted. This was one of the issues here, that this was actually hitting, so they did clear this. They had pushed this back, so that's perfect. Another thing here was on all the window frames, had to be painted, actually scraped. Now let's take a walk back here. So it looks like the window frames still need to be done. Also, the pavers back here was supposed to be pressure washed. It is okay. The frames of the slider, that's pretty much clean. And also, we've noticed that there was a scratch here, and it looks like that scratch is gone. It's important that with the windows, once you sign off, there's no more warranties for the scratches on the windows. So you need to check all your windows, make sure they are all functioning. And that we had a couple things on the pop-outs too as well. Under here, where you see that heavy paint, there's flashing sticking out. So we had to cut that and retexture. And looks like they are getting ready to paint. Now let's head back over here. We're gonna go inside the house, see what else we got. Looks like we got a truck out front. All right, let's head into the house here. I'm gonna take off my shoes, so give me just a second. Okay, nice and cool in here. So one of the things that we've noticed was this island was not straight. Now the island needs to be symmetrically aligned with the countertop back there. And this looks like it is now aligned. Believe it or not, it was actually crooked, so that was done. Then what we noticed was it was missing the backsplash on here. So that has been done. So when you are doing these new home orientations or the first walk, make sure to print out the option list of the things that you actually had purchased. So that way you can identify it, because it takes about 6 months to build a home and you're gonna end up forgetting. Also, there was a bunch of like touch-ups on the cabinets, and it looks like it was done pretty good here. Then we had some problems with the toe kick. So originally with this toe kick, this LVP, okay, was sticking far out, and you could see that they had cut the LVP where there was a gap, right? And it didn't go underneath the toe kick. So we caught that, but what these guys did was do a corner round all the way across versus trying to rip this all out and adding another LVP flooring. So this, I'm okay. I feel like this is acceptable. Now there was tons of touch-up paints throughout. One of the things was the baseboards here was crooked, and I feel like it is still crooked, but there is a threshold. But I feel like this could be done a little bit better, in my opinion. So we had a problem here and right here. This looks like that was okay. This one looks like it's just kind of bowing out a little bit. Here we're just kind of like more touch-up paint. So we have a bedroom downstairs for your guest here. Then coming into the 3/4. 3/4 looks pretty clean. Now the garage, I'm really not going to go into the garage right now because there was just a little bit touch-up paint here, holes there. So that wasn't a big deal for us, okay? Now one thing I've also caught was some of the railings here, the banister had some holes in it. Now, not holes, but like some paint stuff that needed to be done. But this is what I caught right here. And it looks like they did fix this with drywall. So basically, this drywall that goes all the way across, they just shoved a piece of carpet right here and another piece of carpet right here. I removed the carpet. There was literally a hole right here. So the guys that did the carpet install, they thought they could just hide this, but we were luckily able to catch that. So that has been done. Now what's cool about this home is you do have a loft upstairs too as well. There was a bunch of paint that needed to be done in this bedroom. Now one thing I do want to mention, that the insulation up in the attic that we have caught, that the insulation, it was a blown-in insulation, which is the clients had paid for, and they did an upgrade of a R38, right? Now with the R38, and if you are blowing in insulation, inside the attic on the truss will be a stapled piece of paper with a measurement of minimum of 10 inches for an R38. However, some areas was below 8, okay, inches. So what tends to happen from time to time is when they come in and do the blown-in insulation, it could be at 10 inches at that time. But what happens as the months go along, then the insulation gets a little bit heavy, then it starts to settle. Now it was settling at about 8 inches. So we had requested for them to come back out here to blow that insulation, okay? And how do we determine if it was actually done properly? So this is what's gonna happen. We had requested them to take a picture of the new insulation being blown in, showing that it is above 10 inches. So that is how you identify that, okay? This is a beautiful home, by the way. So we've got 2 bedrooms down this way. Here was just a couple of minor paint stuff. I mean, we've got 10-foot ceilings, actually 9-foot ceilings, I'm sorry. They did do the upgrade on the smackdown texture or knockdown, whatever you want to call it. Here is the laundry room. Now, one thing real quick, this I think is a 36 by 36 pan for your drain line for your washer. Now, if you buy a bigger one, just change out this pan here. That's a standard size pan. All right, now the bedroom. Then coming into the bathroom. Now the bathroom here, we had to do some caulking. That was done. Everything else is pretty much all clean, ready to go, perfect. Now in this room, what we had noticed here is that we have one supply line on the report. Basically, this room right here was the hottest point of the room. So when you install an AC unit, right, you should have the equal amount of temperature throughout the second floor, right? The first floor is going to be a little bit different, but when you go from room to room, if you're changing temperatures, that means the ductwork is incorrect. So with this right here and the sun beating on this side, so we had to request now for an AC guy to actually take a look at this to find out what's going on. So number one, it tells me that the airflow. So every feet, how much air is blowing through that can for every feet. So the smaller the can is, the less airflow. So we need to determine how did they fix it. Typically, you're going to size up the can. So if it was a 6, then you would go to an 8. All right, let's take a look out here. The railings have been painted. Look at this. This thing is beautiful. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for this video home tour. And I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. So look, at the end of the day, you want to get with somebody that's like very experienced and understands the process and how things actually work. So that way, when you're doing your new home orientation, you're doing all your inspections, you're not getting fast talked by the builder, okay? So you got to work with somebody that's experienced. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Be blessed, folks.